I want to thank everyone for being here, especially my colleagues here in county government who always been on the forefront when I was in the legislature. Gary Demolowitz and Timmy Nichols and Mert Simpson and Norma Chapman, we've always thought outside the box, and you got to think about the people you represent and do what's right, and still try to balance business in that too, to make sure that we're trying to help business grow here in Albany County, as well as protect our citizens that we represent. But this journey for me started probably in '02, and I'm going to let Gary Demolowitz talk a little bit about that, how we started on the stop smoking in restaurants. And then you see these e-cigarettes now that come out. And the problem is now more and more kids are starting to smoke them, and they're not FDA approved. There's been no statistics behind it. Some people say it's water vapors that come out. Some people don't know. And you're seeing more and more people smoke them in buildings, and kids think it's a cool thing. And they're predicting by 2047 that 60% of cigarettes are going to turn to e-cigarettes. And why is tobacco relying so much on that? Because they're saying, hey, we got another niche to make money. And to me, it's not about making money. It's not about making profit. To me, it's about the health and welfare of the citizens we represent here in Albany County. So, working with my partners in the legislature, I said, look, we have to do something different. So I'm doing an executive order today to ban e-cigarettes from any county-owned facility, including the Times Union Center. You'll no longer be allowed to smoke these on any county properties and within 20 feet of our county buildings, because people should be able to come here and do business, come to work, and not worry about that. And it's also one of the things that I want kids to know in high school, because you're starting to see more and more of them smoke these things out on weekends. And you can look on Facebook. You can see the pictures on Facebook. You can see college kids doing it. It's not cool, and from a distance, it looks like they're smoking a regular cigarette. So we want to do what we can to be good stewards here in Albany County, and this is our first step of many of my partnership with the legislature to put this aside. But I do want to introduce Gary Demolowitz right now. Gary?
Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much. As Dan said, a little over 10 years ago, myself and Dan introduced legislation to ban smoking in all bars and restaurants in Albany County. And this was before the state did it statewide. We were about 6 to 7 months ahead of them. And even back then, there were people out there saying that, secondhand smoke doesn't hurt, and, it's really wasn't going to have effect, and restaurants and bars were all going to go out of business. And here we are 10 years later, and I think everyone is appalled if there's someone smoking even outside the entrance of a restaurant that you're going into, instead of enjoying the beautiful clean air that we all enjoy in these bars and restaurants today. And that was because of Albany County, once again, being at the forefront in protecting the health of the citizens of the city of Albany, Albany County. I commend the county executive for once again taking the lead in making Albany County a forefront and forebearer in protecting the health of the workers of Albany County. Keep in mind, even back 10 years ago, outside New York City, Albany County was the only county in the state that was going forward and banning cigarettes from bars and restaurants. And once again, the county executive is at the forefront in banning these e-cigarettes that really we don't know anything about and how harmful they can be. So I commend him, I support him, and if there's anything we can do within the county legislature to do more, I'm certainly there to support him. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. And I was talking earlier with a few people about when we did this. Mary Lou, come on up here, please. I remember when we did it, and Gary and I were at this press conference at Grandma's on Central Avenue. It was him and I standing there. It was all the press. And I said, Gary, after this, I'm not going to be able to eat at restaurants for a while. And I couldn't, because we'd walk into a restaurant and people would start yelling, you're killing my business. I'm going to have to shut down. And I'm like, wow, I wonder if they're going to do anything to my food. So that little paranoia, I took a little absence from eating out for a while. But it's a good thing, like Gary said. And my next colleague I want to bring up here is Timmy Nichols, who's also been in the forefront on a lot of these issues. Tim?
Thank you. I want to commend you for taking this very important step forward in Albany County and putting us at the forefront once again of good public health initiatives and protecting the community and our county employees from the dangers of tobacco use and tobacco-like substances that you see with these e-cigarettes. So all I will say is I think it's a good first step. I think Albany County can and should continue to move forward on many different levels with respect to tobacco use. And you know, the situation with e-cigarettes, if you look at the way they market and advertise e-cigarettes, it's just the same exact way that the tobacco industry used to market regular cigarettes 20, 30, 40 years ago, where you had celebrities advertising, making them glamorous, making them seem cool and hip and, you know, the thing to do in order to fit in. And that is, and they know it works. That is why the country stopped allowing them to advertise on television long ago, and through the tobacco settlement in 1998, we banned celebrities and icons like the Marlboro Man in cartoons like Joe Camel from being used to promote tobacco products. Now with e-cigarettes, they have a whole new way, a whole new kind of clean slate to promote a product that I think will lead to kids smoking e-cigarettes and then moving to real cigarettes. And that's the real fear that I think a lot of us have. So I really want to commend Danny for his leadership on this, and I'm very happy to be here and to support his efforts. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. I want to bring up Mert Simpson, please, Mert.
The reason why I think this is such a profound thing is we have to ask ourselves a question: why people smoke nicotine cigarettes, and now why people are smoking the new so-called non-nicotine cigarettes. And for the most part, it's kind of a group thing. Hollywood has glamorized and even at one point promoted cigarettes as if they were actually a positive health product. But we know that now we have a generation of young people who 30 years ago we never would have thought young people would have had the level of tattoos, the level of piercings, but there seems to be a massive shift for people to do whatever the current thing is. And once you get into gateway situations, if you ask yourself the question, why is it that people are smoking e-cigarettes or any cigarettes? And for the most part, it's part of a group think. It's part of what the in thing is to do. And the danger with that is, now that we know the effects of secondhand smoke and we really don't know the total impact of what e-cigarettes are, there's a danger of people, because of groupthink and because once you get into a cycle, there's a possibility for gateways to other things, that people will slip back into nicotine. But also, it takes years before we actually can calibrate the health effects of certain things, and certainly e-cigarettes have nothing to recommend them. There are no positive health benefits that we can point to, and the danger of slipping back into the old nicotine, because again, it's a stronger impact, is right there. So I think that we need to stand for health, and those people who argue that they have an individual right to smoke tobacco or e-cigarettes, one, we know the effects of secondhand smoke, and two, I'm sure that there are unknown consequences that we'll find out about. We need to stand for health first.
Thank you. Mary Lou Conley, please.
Thank you. You know, it's interesting. While I was driving here today on the news, I was listening. I won't say which station, but I was listening to the fact that there were 489 children under 5 years old who got a hold of these. And they can be deadly. I mean, you know, because people are careless. And I was just listening, and I said it's ironic that I was coming here for this conference and that children 5 years and old, 489, and I know at least one had passed away. But, you know, about 14 years ago, I was the one who got cigarettes behind the counters. I think some of us here might remember that. I was chair of the health committee, and we put cigarettes behind the counters so the youth of our community could not pilfer them. And this is very, very important. I'm very fortunate. I never smoked. And but this e-cigarette, you know, it's phony. It really is phony, in my opinion. because it's there still. And it's a crutch. It's one of the hardest things in the world to give up. But this is not good, and I applaud what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. It's always about partnerships and working with different organizations. So it's with great pleasure I get to announce Kathleen O'Neill from American Lung Associations of the Northeast.
My name's Kathleen O'Neill, and I'm the Communications Manager at the American Lung Association of the Northeast. And I'm here today on behalf of our CEO, Jeff Sealer, who has asked me to share a brief statement he has prepared regarding today's announcement. The American Lung Association is grateful that Albany County residents will not be exposed to potentially unsafe secondhand emissions from electronic cigarettes when visiting county-owned office buildings. This is a common-sense step forward to protect the health of county residents, and we applaud County Executive McCoy for putting public health first. The Lung Association remains very concerned that we don't know what's in e-cigarettes or what the health consequences of them might be. We are troubled that they may be starting kids on a path that will lead to a lifetime of nicotine addiction. The Lung Association continues to urge the FDA to assert its authority and oversee these products. Unless and until we know what the health consequences of e-cigarettes are, we discourage people from using them, and we continue to encourage smokers who want to quit to talk with their doctors and discuss whether one of the 7 FDA-approved cessation products might be right for them. Thank you very much.
Thank you for them words, and it's appreciated. Judy Reitmeyer from Capital District Tobacco Free Coalition. Yes.
Thank you, and I appreciate being invited to come here for this announcement. This is wonderful news, and I commend the county exec for making this decision and the legislators for being here to support it. We know that the tobacco industry does not stop the work that they're doing. They need to get young people to start smoking to keep their business going forward. And they market their products and look at new kinds of products to do that. And we know that virtually all people start smoking before they're about 26 years old, and the majority, about 90%, start before they're 18 years old. These e-cigarettes have seen a big increase in middle school and high school users. They're starting to use them at, unfortunately, very high rates. They do contain nicotine. They are addictive, and they certainly can be a gateway to using regular cigarettes. They certainly is a high potential harm to the population with these products, and I really appreciate this step that Albany County is taking to stop or limit the amount of use of e-cigarettes and certainly exposures that our community has to them. So thank you very much, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. The only thing left to do, and I already signed it, is to sign the executive order, so I did. And I do want to thank my partners in the legislature and everyone else that is here, because it's not possible without working together to protect the citizens of Albany County. And Bruce, our new county clerk, who's here too, for supporting this too, Bruce. So thank you for being here. You should be up on stage with Bruce. But we always talk about economic development, and we talk about making sure we protect everybody. And this is going to do this. And I look forward to working with the legislature on other initiatives that are only going to benefit the residents of Albany County. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it.